Welcome to the Who Knew podcast with Bruce Lubin from quickanddirtytips.com. I'm Jennifer Boudneau, the editor of the Who Knew books. Today we're talking Thanksgiving, my favorite of all holidays, except maybe Christmas. Bruce is going to give us some great tips on making sure your Thanksgiving turkey comes out great, preparing, and we have another life hack lightning round and great money-saving tip from the penny hoarder. But first, if you've ever felt like you had to choose between getting new blinds or holding on to your life savings, those fears end now, thanks to SelectBlinds.com. Select Blinds won't gouge you like those big greedy blind corporations. Just check out the over 170,000 five-star reviews on their site. Shop today at SelectBlinds.com. Mention you heard about them on a podcast at checkout and get sample swatches, absolutely free. That's SelectBlinds.com. Hey, Bruce.
Happy Thanksgiving, Jen.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I love Thanksgiving.
I do, too. I think everyone does.
Everyone does, yeah. It's one of those nice holidays that everyone just gathers together and...
Right. And everyone's included. No one's excluded.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about saying happy holidays or whatever because you can pretty much assume they're going to go eat whatever they're doing
and there's football.
On that day.
And you get to eat too much.
Yeah, that means nothing's fine.
Well, yeah, but these are all good things.
Part of my family is a football family and part is not. So when I go to my football family for the holiday, that's always a shock for me that after you eat, it's time to sit and watch football. Whereas the other half of my family is more of like we want to talk about what we read in The Economist and Harper's.
You know what's great other than football is that like you're allowed to eat too much and then you're allowed to fall asleep in front of your relatives.
Yes.
It seems to be okay. Like think of any other time of year if you're talking to like great Aunt Millie and you just nod out. It's kind of rude, but on Thanksgiving it's like, oh wow, he ate so much, the tryptophan.
Yes.
So it's okay.
Yes, and luckily I'm good enough friends with my friends who I always go to that I will just go upstairs and take a nap. I'm not above it. I'm not above it. And also you can unbutton your pants, you know.
You can unbutton your pants.
Everyone just sits back.
It's a win-win. It's good for everyone.
I love to eat. So just every time I see a spread of pies and turkey and mashed potato, I mean everything.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
Oh, I'm already excited.
Me too.
But speaking of food, we have a great tip today from pennyhoarder.com. As you know, we've been doing these tips on our podcast that are more geared towards saving money, whereas we focus more on the household hack. We know some ways to save money, but Penny Hoarder really knows their stuff. Not like Lisa, that's true. And she's here today with another very interesting tip that I think you all are going to really like.
Hi, I'm Lisa Rowan from the Penny Hoarder with today's money hack. Let's be real, Starbucks is not a cheap addiction. I know that for sure. One way you could save money at Starbucks is by upsizing your cup without paying for the bigger size. When ordering drip coffee, simply ask for a tall drip in a grande cup. This gives you extra room to add milk while still only paying for the tall size. Another bonus tip from this Starbucks hack is that the extra space also keeps you from spilling your coffee as you walk or drive. And that is crucial if you're heading to work. If you're an iced coffee lover, you can also ask for light ice, because usually your cup is so full of ice that you don't get as much coffee as you'd like. Although this won't save you money, you'll definitely get more bang for your buck in terms of more caffeine and less water. And really, don't we all need more caffeine? For more money hacks, visit thepennyhoarder.com.
Wow, that was a good one.
I wish I had known that before my Starbucks rung today.
I know, right? Before we go on, I wanted to tell you a bit more about our sponsor, the lovely SelectBlinds.com. You don't have to choose between saving money and updating your window treatments anymore. SelectBlinds.com has got you covered, pun intended. And their loyal customers seem to agree. Just check out the more than 170,000 five-star reviews on their site. At SelectBlinds.com, you can choose from a selection of high-quality custom blinds, shades, and drapes. It's the simple and smart way to get blinds. Select Blinds makes it easy to do it yourself without going it alone. Measure, choose, and install your own new window coverings with the support of their online specialists. If you can hang a picture, you can hang your own blinds. They've served over 1 million happy customers. Why not be one of them? Shop today at SelectBlinds.com. Mention you heard about them on a podcast at checkout and get sample swatches of the room-darkening blinds or shades of your choice. Absolutely free. That's SelectBlinds.com. Have I mentioned lately how much I love SelectBlinds.com?
They're the best.
They're really good, honestly, for sponsoring our podcast, which is a new podcast, which is why we're asking everyone if they love our podcast to go write us a little review or give us some stars
Just
on
a little
iTunes.
love is all we want.
Wherever you find it. Because it really does help us find an audience. So we're always asking people to do that if they don't mind and if they like us. So what have you got today for us for Thanksgiving tips?
We have tons of Thanksgiving tips, as you know.
Yeah. But so do you hold Thanksgiving at your house usually?
We do. We rotate with Jeannie's family and my family.
Ooh. And so how do you prepare for Thanksgiving when it is your turn?
I prepare to exchange gunfire with my extended family. No, how do I prepare?
First, make sure your gun is locked away if you're in that part of the country.
Exactly right. There's plenty of things to do to prepare, but the thing is, what you want to do is prepare things that are going to make the day easier and then the cleanup easier. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. So one of my very, very favorite tips is, you take out your big fancy tablecloth for Thanksgiving. What you want to do a day or two beforehand is spray it with spray starch. Okay, and let it dry. And what'll happen is then when anyone stains it or spills something on it, it will not stain. Mm-hmm. So when you're cleaning it afterwards, you don't have to scrub it, do anything else. You can just launder it. And it's stain-free.
Genius.
That's a great tip.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Another before Thanksgiving is candles. If you want them to burn slower, freeze them for a day before you put them on your table.
Yes, and they drip less that way, too,
And they drip less, too. Yep. Yeah. That's exactly right. Speaking of cleaning up candles, if you have, candles that are in any sort of holders, if you can put water in the bottom of the holders,
that's a great tip.
That way they won't melt like the votives. They melt in the holders.
And candlesticks too. They're easier to get out of there if you have a little bit of water at the very bottom.
Yes, or olive oil.
Oh,
also works too.
Olive oil.
Absolutely. So there's just a few things like that, and there's so many more in our blog posts about what you can do before Thanksgiving to make the day easier and the cleanup easier.
Yeah, one that Jeannie had that I thought was a really cute idea is that if you have a bunch of family coming over for the day, you've got all the kids underfoot, to send them out in the yard to get the last of the fall leaves, tell them to get the red and the yellow leaves, and then as long as they're not too dirty, you can kind of dust them off and then basically use them as a table runner. So if you have a centerpiece, put them around the centerpiece, or just kind of lay them down the middle of the table, and it makes a nice little table decoration. It gets the kids out from underfoot, makes them feel involved in the celebration. So that's fun.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I really like that one. So the big thing for Thanksgiving, like I need to tell anyone, is the turkey.
That would be the turkey.
So I assume that you have some turkey tips for us today.
Plenty of turkey tips.
What's your best one?
My favorite turkey tip is to, when you're cooking it, for the first hour, cook it upside down. So it's breast side down, legs up, and the juices will flow more to the meat that you're going to eat, believe it or not. So for the first hour, turn it upside down and then turn it around and cook it the normal way after that.
Wow. What other cooking tips do you have for
the turkey? I would say 15, 20 minutes before you're done cooking the turkey, you want to just bathe it in some vermouth or white Zinfandel, and that'll make the skin really crispy and brown. It'll look great. It actually adds a lot of flavor, too. So that's the
thing. When you place the turkey on the table, regardless of how juicy and delicious it is, it better be brown on the outside and look good. So that's
absolutely, or else we turn the table over.
Yeah,
right.
that's a good that's a good tip. If you take your turkey out of the oven and it's not quite as beautiful as you would like it, just throw some of that vermouth or what was it?
White Zinfandel.
Okay, right on the. On the
Put it back in for a few minutes and off you go. So those are two great tips for turkeys, and there's plenty more.
You guys have a lot of. If you Google "Who Knew Tips Thanksgiving," you should be able to find our post on Quick and Dirty Tips about Thanksgiving tips. One that kind of changed my life is about mashed potatoes.
Oh yes,
which is that my mother, though she is really good at a lot of things, cooking is not one of them. She'll be the first one to tell you. And so her mashed potatoes are always a little bit gooey, and I found out from you and Jeannie that that's because of the way that she mashes them.
Exactly.
So if you find that your mashed potato, and some people like them that way, so I don't, if that's how you like it, then go for it. But if they're a little more gluey than you'd like, it might be from the way that you're mashing them, and it has something to do with the walls of the starches, breaking down or whatever. So what you want to do is use a masher and go directly down. Try not to stir around in circles, and don't use a emulsion blender or hand mixer or anything. You really want to use a potato masher or even a fork if you have it. Go straight down and then stir, and that'll make sure that they're smooth but not gluey.
Oh, that's a great tip. One more about turkey. You were talking about crispy skin, and I was thinking about that. while you were talking about mashed potatoes, you want to put some salt on your turkey the night before you cook it and put it in the refrigerator uncovered overnight.
Oh, sort of like a brine without
kind
water.
Kind of like a brine, exactly right, but without having to go through the hassle of brining it. Yeah, exactly right. And of course, once you take it out of the oven, you need to let it rest for at least 20 minutes, no more than 40 minutes, but at least 20 minutes in order to have all the juices sort of come to the surface.
Nice. And I know that, too, you guys have that tip about if your turkey comes out too dry.
Yes.
You basically have a tip for anything. If it's not brown, put vermouth or white Zinfandel. If it's too dry, usually it happens with the breast meat, right? Because that dries out faster. So what you can do is just slice it, carve it up like you're going to serve it, and then put it in a pan and cover it with chicken broth, which you usually have on hand at Thanksgiving for stuffing or what have you. And then just stick it back in the oven, let it, simmer in there a little bit, and it'll absorb some of those juices. And trust me, no one knows the difference between chicken broth and turkey.
Oh,
you can't taste the difference.
And it's only I would do it at 350 for about 10 minutes, and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a great tip.
Great. Yeah, it's real helpful. Can we talk about baking tips?
Yes, we can. Are you done with turkey? What if this is I'll give you a little hint because I want you to tell people this turkey tip before you move on to baking.
All right.
What do you do if your turkey is too juicy and the juices are going everywhere?
Oh, when you're cutting it?
Yes.
Oh, wow, you just set me up. So what you want to do, put your cutting board in like a cookie sheet or something that has a little bit of a rim.
Yeah.
And then that'll keep the mess. That's right. I forgot to say that. That's a great tip.
Yeah. Just put the carving board right in the cookie sheet, and then when all the juices go everywhere, they'll just go into the cookie sheet. And then you can use those juices for stuffing.
Dab them behind your ears. Do whatever you'd like with them. That's
why I remember that.
Right.
Dab it behind your ears. Yeah, right?
One baking tip. Can I do a quick baking tip?
Do a quick baking tip.
So if you're making pie crust.
Yes, because Thanksgiving is pie season.
Exactly right. You want it light and fluffy. What you want to do is use half as much water as you normally would and replace that water with, drum roll please, vodka.
I was going to say it with you. Vodka.
You knew it. You remembered it. Yep.
We always remember the tips with booze in them because they are our favorite.
Yeah, but vodka really will help make the crust really, really light. It's a tremendous tip. It's so simple and it makes a big, big difference. So I want everyone to use their vodka. And it could be the cheap old stuff, like the stuff that college kids are drinking right now. Nothing hot, no top shelf stuff for this, like the cheapest you can find.
Do you still then put foil over the edges so that it doesn't brown in the oven?
I do.
Because that's a great pie
absolutely.
tip too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh, what kind of pies do you eat on Thanksgiving?
Well, pumpkin, of course, is your go-to pie.
Sweet potato is my go-to. And pecan. I'm not an apple pie girl.
You're not an apple pie girl.
No, I know that surprises you because I'm from the Midwest.
I would think so. I'm surprised to hear that. You're a woman of many moods, aren't you, Jennifer?
Yeah, I am. I'm very elusive. That's my draw. Well, those are great. I'm very much looking forward to Thanksgiving, and then pretty soon. Is that the end of your Thanksgiving tips?
Can I give one more?
Please.
Can I give one more?
Please.
So this goes to you're done and you want to just watch football and sleep.
Yes.
Right? And you have all this cleaning to do.
Yeah.
So there's tips you can use to make your cleaning easier. My favorite is if you've got like a casserole dish that's got sort of baked on stains, just fill it with warm water, throw in like 2 Alka-Seltzers, and let it sit for a couple of hours.
Oh.
And you can tell, fellas, you can tell anyone, tell your wife, you heard it on Who Knew Tips. I'm cleaning right now.
Yes, that probably wins a lot of points.
Let it sit for an hour or so, and you will see all the gunk will come off just really simply.
You know what I use?
What's that?
Surprise you. Cola.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am a big cola drinker. So if you end up with flat cola, you can use cola in your pots and pans, too.
That's
and especially good for cast iron because it'll get all the rust out.
It sure does. It sure does.
So that's what I do, too. Excellent.
Great.
Are you ready for our life hack lightning round?
Oh, the lightning round, yes. Let's see.
How could I forget the life hack lightning round? I would never. So for those who aren't familiar with the life hack lightning round, which I know there's very few because most people, it's just like everyone watches this pod. Like, it's really hard at this point to walk down the streets of Manhattan because I'm getting stopped so often. I don't know how they know my face. But they're like, who knew podcasts? Yeah.
Everything, like the presidential debate. Everyone stops and watches collectively. It's like the new podcast.
Yeah, I know. That's how we are. We're an American institution, and we're only like, how many episodes in? Not that many. So
Thank you for your service, Jay.
I do it for the tips. So for the life hack lightning round, Jeannie gives us a household object, and then we try to come up with as many tips as we can involving that object. So what is today's object?
Well, she puts it in an envelope and she seals it, and I trot into our studio.
Do you look beforehand?
I never do. You just heard me open it.
I know you don't, because you rarely win.
I would never look. I would never, because I rarely win. Yeah, if I was going to cheat, I would win. Today, the object is a toothbrush.
Ooh, very interesting.
Interesting, isn't it? So,
well, you go first.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I can think of a few.
Yeah, I don't know how far we're going to get on toothbrush.
Okay, one for winter and for fall. As your lips start drying out, a great way before you use like any sort of lip balm to clear off the dry skin, this really helps, is to just brush your lips.
Yeah, with a little bit of petroleum jelly,
yes.
Right?
Yep. And it gets rid of the dead skin, and it's.
I love that, yeah, because you get those little like dead skin, whatever it is, on your lips, and you can.
Yes.
So this one is about toothbrushes, and it's really gross. You should not cover your toothbrush. A lot of people have a toothbrush cover for whatever reason, and every time they brush their teeth, then they cover their toothbrush. But that's actually just helping bacteria build up on your toothbrush because it keeps it all in a enclosed location.
Right.
So what you should really do is just keep your toothbrush out in the open, like in your medicine cabinet, as far away as possible from your toilet. I'm going to say that because what people don't realize is when they flush their toilet, all of the germs go in, spray into the air and all over your bathroom.
Yep.
So you don't want to keep your toothbrush out in the open, but you also don't want to keep it enclosed because that's just a breeding ground for bacteria. You want it to be able to dry. So think carefully about where you're storing your toothbrush, everyone. I suggest the medicine cabinet.
I agree. What
else do you have on toothbrushes that's perhaps not as gross?
I don't have something as disgusting as that. I have a good tip though. If you're cooking corn, either corn on the cob, if you're boiling corn, you want to get rid of the corn silk.
Yes.
The easiest way, once you peel the corn, is to use an old toothbrush just to get rid of the corn. Just brush the corn and the silk will come off in like a second.
Excellent.
So it's really simple.
I have another bathroom tip for the toothbrush.
Is this as disgusting as your last tip, do you think?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Although I use the used toothbrush, clean it thoroughly because I guess it is kind of gross if you don't clean it first. Mm-hmm. But when you have a clean toothbrush, it's really good for your hair to keep little flyaways. If you don't know about this because you're a dude, but if you're a woman, every time you do your hair, you look in the mirror and then there's all this hair on the top of your head that's just like flying everywhere and you don't know how to get it back into your regular hair when it's doing. So toothbrush is the best thing I have found. You spray hairspray on the toothbrush and then you run. I did it right before I came. Can you tell?
I don't see any flyaway hair at all.
Because I used the toothbrush. So the toothbrush, what it does is basically fold the hair back into your hairline. So you run the toothbrush over your hair as if you're kind of brushing your hair with a toothbrush, but it has hairspray on it, and then it gets all the little hairs where they should be, and it works better than just hairspray alone.
That's one of the tips that Jeannie wrote that I've never paid attention to, but now I'm looking at your hair.
That's one of the tips that Jeannie wrote that I use like practically every single day.
Wow, well,
that and using conditioner to shave are like my
boy,
everything.
Oh boy, does it work? Because there's no flyaway hair at all, and I'm looking closely now.
Yeah, you know how to compliment the ladies. That's how you do it. Not a single flyaway. Also, one time a guy told me that he thought my gray hair was highlights. He said, "Oh, I just thought you got your hair highlighted," and I was like, "Let me marry you." Yeah. No, he was married, so I couldn't. But I would have if he wasn't.
Sorry about that.
I know. Yeah. I know. We got to do a whole podcast on hair dye soon.
Oh, all right. I have some great tips about that, but that's for another day. Let's talk. I have another toothbrush tip. I'm thinking about. This is actually a combo platter toothbrush toothpaste.
Okay.
Tip. So if you've got
is it just brush your teeth? Because that doesn't count.
No, it is not. If you have grass stains, wise guy, on your pants, what you want to do is take a little toothpaste, put it on an old toothbrush, and scrub at the grass stain.
Yeah, the toothbrushes are really good at stains because if you ever get those stain removers that have like the little brush on the top that's supposed to help get the stain remover into the stain, that's basically what a toothbrush does. So you don't have to pay extra.
Great for grout too.
That was going to be mine. That was going to be mine.
That was awful.
I think that was my last. Yeah, you can use it for grout. Baking soda on a toothbrush. Oh, gosh, what else do I know with a toothbrush?
That was awful of me to do that then, wasn't it?
That was a life hack lightning cheat is what that was. Do you have any more other than that?
No, I don't think I do.
You just saw the finish line and you just barged right over it, did you?
I did. I can't
think of a single other toothbrush tip. I feel like we have more. If you're out there listening and you have a toothbrush tip, come to our Facebook at facebook.com who knew tips and tell us what we're missing. There's got to be more good
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. There has to be.
That's just going to have to, people are just going to have to live with
our 7 tips that we just gave them.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much, Bruce, and thanks everyone for listening, and thanks to Quick and Dirty Tips for producing this podcast and making it all possible. Bruce and Jeannie are posting every day at quickanddirtytips.com/who-knew, where you can find all the tips from this podcast, plus much more Thanksgiving tips. We have a whole post for various Thanksgiving foods of different types, so make sure to check it out and find all of the tips that we have. As always, while you're online, write us a little review if you're out there, and find us by searching Who Knew Tips on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or Google. Tune in next time. We're not quite ready for our holiday decorations yet, but we'll have to give you some. It's coming.
Happy Thanksgiving, Jen.
Happy Thanksgiving, Bruce. I'll see you next time.
You bet.